I got a question recently from a Dr. Durango who asked, when I'm trying to figure out a song, if I can figure out the first note, then the first chord is almost always the chord that is the first note as the third. In other words, if the first note is E, then it's very likely the first chord will be C major. Why is that? Does what I said make sense? I love watching you guys and gals sing it live. It is so fun. Thank you for the kind words, Dr. Durango. And thank you for the question. Now, I'll get to answering it as best as I can.
Well, let's start the insanity.
Now, when you say the first note, what note do you mean? Do you mean a note in the chord? Do you mean a bass note? Maybe something from the intro riff? No, I know what you mean. I bet you mean the first note of the melody. Now, if you're watching this thinking, what the hell is a melody? Well, you're in luck. That recently I did a video anticipating that I'd be doing this video, and it was introducing what a melody is, explaining it for beginners. Go check it out. But to save you having to watch the whole video, basically the melody is just the notes that the singer sings or the main hummable theme of a song, which of course sometimes can be quite confusing because, you know, maybe like an intro riff to a song like, for instance, that's The Look by Roxette. That's kind of catchy and kind of hummable, but that's the intro riff. That's not the melody. Obviously, the melody isn't chords, but just say, you know, like da 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 da. It's what the singer is singing.
Walking like a man, hitting like a hammer, she's a juvenile scam. Never was a quitter, tasting like a raindrop. She's got the look.
Now, for me, I find it interesting that anybody would listen to the melody to be able to determine what the chord or the key is underneath. The reason why I find it interesting is because the way that I view what a melody is I view that it's icing on a cake. You know, the cake is the chords, you know, the rhythm that's supporting the melody. Without icing, there would, you know, be a kind of a boring cake. But without the cake part, what do you have to put the icing on?
Think about it.
So what I do is I usually try and use some, you know, real active listening to try and figure out what is going on underneath, regardless of the melody. That's the way that I do it. All right, well, let me just elaborate. What is active listening? I'll tell you one thing it's not. It's not passive listening.
Well, duh.
But when you listen to a song, what are you listening to? What are you connecting with? Maybe you don't even think about it. Most people I ask, they listen to the words. They listen to the lyrics. For me, that's the last thing that I listen to, which is a bit weird because I like to have a bit of a sing, but the thing that I connect with a song is the music when I'm listening to it. So let's just do a quick little step-by-step exercise with employing some active listening.
Let's start the game.
All right, so let's just listen to a little bit of the song, The Look. We'll just listen to a little bit of the verse, and let's have a listen to what are all of the instruments that you can hear.
Walking like a man, hitting like a hammer, she's a juvenile scam. Never was a quitter, tasting like a raindrop. She's got the look.
All right, how'd you go? Were you able to kind of block out the words and the singing and just listen to the instruments? It can be a challenge if it's not what you're used to. So let's take it one step further. Let's have a listen to only what the drummer is doing.
Walking like a man, hitting like a hammer, she's a juvenile scam. Never was a quitter, tasting like a raindrop. She's got the look.
Good on you, Mario. What a drummer. Now, let's take it one step further again. Let's just listen to only what the bass drum sounds like, the sound characteristics of the bass drum or kick drum.
Walking like a man, hitting like a hammer. hammer, she's a juvenile scam. Never was a quitter, tasting like a raindrop. She's got the look. Heavenly bound.
All right, so there's a bunch of extra ways that you could actively listen to a song. What the point is that for me, what I'm doing is I'm doing my best to block out the very top layer, the melody and the words, so that I can focus in and hone in and just retrieve all of the information that I want straight away without needing to worry about whatever the top layer is telling me.
Layer upon layer upon layer.
But nobody is right or wrong in how they do it if they are arriving at the same information.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing.
And it's not a judgment, it's just how I do it. So if that can be of help for you, employ some active listening. So just a quick pause of the learning here. You watching this video, I'm curious, what method do you use if you have that skill of figuring out a song by ear? Do you do it the way that I do it and you are listening straight away to what the chords or the bass note or what the key is, or are you listening to the melody first? Let us know in the comments below. But yeah, back to you, Dr. Durango, and your question. So yes, you're correct in saying that if you can hear that a note in the melody is E, well then chances are that it could be a C chord underneath it. And so what that means is that it's the major third of that chord that's being sung. Anyway, a lot of melodies are made up of notes from the chord, and they're called inside sounding melodies. And yes, of course, some will venture outside. They're more exotic sounding because those notes are not in the chord. Before we open up the real can of worms on what notes belong in what chord and whatever, the biggest overarching thing that is really important that you understand is what is a key. And if you're unsure of what a key is, might I suggest that you go check out this video here, which is called What is a Key and Why Should You Care? Why should you care? That is the question. Why should you care? So if you're not sure, check out that video. Now, it is the perfect time right now for me to announce that I'm going to answer this question further and further and further in a series. But basically over a bunch of different separate videos, it'll go through some different melodic note choices that you can either choose to use yourself when you're creating songs, or when you're analyzing song to song, why have they chosen that note to sing or play versus another one?
Sounds good.
It'll be interesting stuff, at least it will be for me. I hope you find it interesting too. I hope you found this video interesting. And hey, speaking of interesting, thank you very much to Dr. Durango for your interesting question. I found it pretty stimulating to try and answer as best as I can for you. Now, if you watching this would like a question answered, you know what to do. Also, if you think, maybe I wouldn't mind asking Crafty a question in real time, if you're a guitarist, well then the easiest way to be able to do that is to go check out craftyguitarclub.com. It is a pretty fun little modest guitarist membership that I've put together in order to be able to help people like yourself out. You can ask me musical related questions in real time and get an answer. So go check out craftyguitarclub.com. That's where all the questions and answers are at. So just remember, with your music, you don't have to do every single thing right now. Just do the next thing. We'll see you in another Crafty Music Tips video really soon. Take care.